And joining us now here on the program, pleased to catch up with our friends at Brevant Seeds and talk about new standards in genetics and trait leadership. Joining us for a conversation, Travis Belt, portfolio and technology lead for Brevant. Travis, thanks so much for being with us here today. Hope you're doing well.
You bet. No, thanks for having us. And for sure.
Well, let's dive in. How does the current class of Brevant brand soybeans compare to the previous class, Travis?
Yeah, it's a great time to be evaluating those kind of statements, Jesse. Last year when we advanced this class, we knew the agronomics were exceptionally strong and outperforming, and in our previous yield data was showing the same thing. And so as we talk about it, and we're thinking about this year, I actually ran the data for just yesterday. And so we start off, we were really proud to see that everything that we had talked about when we advanced this class, right, that it was there. We're just shy of 2 bushel better from a performance standard than our old class, which is good. And then I always look at the competition because I think we have to measure against ourselves many times anymore because we have raised the bar in performance. And while we're maybe a touch shy than 2 bushel better than ourselves, we're actually over 2 bushel better than all our competitors. So we're trying to continue that raise that bar internally and externally. And it's not just about yield. That's one of the big improvements we've had with this genetic class the last couple of years is around agronomics. So when we think of things like standability, white mold, ADC tolerances, SDS, brown stem rot, there's a whole laundry list of agronomic traits and specifically disease that we improved our ratings on. Nearly half a score to a point score improvement on all those ratings, which just goes back to performance with consistency and reliability, because we never know what the year is going to bring us from an agronomic twist and turn out there in the marketplace.
Absolutely. A lot of great points you raised there. A lot of different diseases and pest pressures and more that we have to fight in our soybean fields. Let's talk about consistency and why is consistency so important for farmers as they select seed for the next season?
As I alluded to, we never know what Mother Nature is going to bring us year over year. And we had I live in here in Missouri, and quite honestly, we had one of the most phenomenal growing seasons we've experienced on record through August, and then it just shut down, and the rain stopped, and every part of the country can talk about something similar from a weather impact every year, and those influence diseases that have pressure. Those may influence emergence or standability. And so consistency is hugely important for a farmer because no one can predict that yet anyway. And I don't think we're going to be able to anytime soon. So we need to have that consistency of performance and consistency across agronomic variables and weather variables so that ultimately that farmer, his investment in seed pays off for him the following harvest, right? They get really one shot to do this every year. And we want to provide them the most consistent, high performing products that we can.
Well, let's talk about what is coming down the trait pipeline for Brevant Seeds. I'm sure some exciting new products potentially. What's in the pipeline right now for Brevant?
Yeah, so busy time of year. Actually, later this afternoon, I go through the advancement call for soybeans. So, right, when we first think about what's new, we got to talk about genetics first, because if we don't have a genetic platform to build this on, none of the traits and all the bells and whistles really matter. So that's absolutely priority number one is having the highest yielding genetics. And then we think about all those traits and other, unique components that we can add to it to protect that yield. And so when we think of soybeans, genetics first. And then there's some exciting things coming around SCN. We have some internal work that we're doing for soybean cyst nematode to improve some tolerances internally. There's also some trait work going on in SCN that we're going to be bringing down the road. And then we look off into the future. We do already got plans for our next 2 herbicide tolerances, right? When we add a 4th herbicide tolerance into it and then a 5th even down the road. So constantly improving, constantly planning, and it's good to look ahead and see that roadway paved out. And not just to talk about soybeans all the time, but corn. I talk about soybean advancements today, corn advancements tomorrow. And so we get to jump right into improving that corn genetic portfolio that we've had. We've had a really great, strong run in corn as well. When we think about what's new there, continued transition of our portfolio over to PowerCore Enlist and Vorceed Enlist will be a top priority. Those two traits we really launched in full force last year. And as we transition our large portfolio over, we see a big mix moving, and the performance of those products were outstanding. So we had the genetic backbone there, and the traits are protecting the yield and offering us yield. And then corn has a load of things coming, whether it's reduced stature products, which is kind of the buzz in the marketplace, to we have a new above ground BT trait coming. We have a new below ground rootworm trait coming to the market. As well as some other things around stress tolerance and yield stability and disease resistance that quite honestly makes my job pretty exciting and pretty fun, because there's so many things going on in the marketplace right now, and with Corteva and our genetic and trait leadership that we're launching really here and really expanding on. It's a fun time to be here.
Well, Travis, whether we're talking corn or soybeans, a lot of excitement going on with Brevant. And I'm sure as we close out today, if folks want to learn more online, Brevant.com, connecting with their local retailer, their local retail sales agronomist, et cetera. A lot of great ways to get in touch and learn more about how they could put Brevant brand products on their operation, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And I would tell you, our teams are feeling really great right now, just coming off a phenomenal harvest. So I know they're going to be excited if you reach out to those local retailers or our local retail sales agronomists, and be happy to talk with anyone.
Fantastic. Travis, anything final you would add just as we look across the Brevant portfolio, or anything you would reiterate to folks here today?
I would just say probably that, hey, we're experiencing a wave of momentum that quite honestly not many get to experience in their careers. Been around this for almost 20 years now, and from a portfolio genetic performance and a trait package performance, and then launching all these new traits coming to the future, that doesn't align always. And so we're blessed to have the portfolio we have, and I can only confidently say it's going to continue to get better. And so it's an exciting time to be with Brevant, and really encourage anyone that's interested to learn more to reach out and chat with us about it.
Brevant.com for more. With that, Travis Belt, portfolio and technology lead for Brevant Seeds. Travis, thanks for joining us here today on the program. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.